Hello, everybody. It's Sunday evening, and that means one thing. It's time to round out this week's MRL action with Formula 2 this week. Obviously, we're finishing out the Azerbaijan races. Joining me for F2, as always, is Mr. Alex. But Alex, how are you today, my friend?
Hello, Unicorn. Yeah, very excited for this last race of the week here on Baku, and yeah, very happy to be here, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And funny enough, we've already commentated the race today, Alex. It's not always that we come in here with a little bit of experience, but this morning, Alex and I commentated for APAC. Usually it'll be me and Seb, but Alex stepped up to the plate this afternoon, or this morning. So that was awesome. And well, we've already, done one, Alex, and now we've got to do two more here with the F2. So busy day for us, but Formula 2, Baku, I think this one is going to be particularly interesting, Alex, because we see so many high-speed overtakes down into turn 1 with that huge straight coming out of turn 16, whereas we're a little bit slow. I think the cars might, catch a bit earlier. They don't have that, the ERS isn't available to them, so it's a bit more, I don't know, I feel like it's going to be a very interesting race to watch.
Yeah, the slipstream here on F2, very powerful. So we can probably see even 3 wides or 4 wides. I hope, and I hope it stays clean on this main straight. So yeah, really excited. A lot of drivers here just wanting to race for fun, of course. There's a community event, so everyone on the Discord can join here on the races of F2, and you have the channel to check in. So right now, just waiting for a few drivers to go on the lobby, and I think we will be done for, well, we'll be starting this GP of Baku.
Yeah, absolutely. And as always, it's a very short one lap qualifying. It's a one shot, and that means if you make a mistake, and around here it's so easy to do, specifically with that castle section, it's game over for you. You'll be starting at the back of the grid. But one shot qualifying into two races. We'll obviously have the feature race and then the shorter sprint race, determined by the finishing order of that first feature race with the top 8 reversed. So we'll have to see how these guys handle that challenge, and it is a completely different beast to what we see throughout the week in the tiered and regional divisions, and a lot of these guys are in those divisions, and a lot of them aren't. Like you said, it's a community event, so it's a nice mix of the drivers that we're regularly used to seeing in the tiers and the regional races, and then just people who are part of the Discord, part of the community. We get to see them here. They get to test their mettle against some of the fastest in the league. But with that, I think we are just about getting ready to go here. A few drivers ready up. I don't know if they've gone a little bit early here, but it is 8 o'clock here in the UK. My name is Unicorn. Joining me, as always, is Alex Bedo, and a big shout out to all of you watching at home and for all the follows, etc. We've had some brilliant support over the last week or so, and it's been a pretty brilliant week, I think, here at Azerbaijan. Our first wet race in Tier 1 and any tier this week, so it's been a very exciting race to watch. But with that being said, we are just about ready to go into the one-shot qualifying. We'll see who the game picks here for the outlap. It always just chooses someone randomly, and then once we get on board with them, unless they're dropping down the order substantially, we'll stick on board with them for the rest of the lap. But here we are in for Azerbaijan one shots qualifying. Let's see which of these, I think 18 or 19 drivers. I think someone might have been having connection issues there in the lobby. Which one it picks?
I think it was 19, and a lot of fast drivers, a lot of drivers we know already. Domi, Neon, Brainsteel, Eric, a lot of fast drivers. As I said, we had Monaco last week. It was very intense and really cleaner than I expected. So very good job for these F2 drivers. We will see who's the driver that the game will pick randomly, and then we will jump in the onboard and just have a pleasure to ride onboard with them on this qualifying of one shot. So right now the driver's loading up to the session.
Yeah, everyone just getting ready, loading the setups, but not in Neon's case. He's come across in chat saying that he doesn't have one, and that could seriously impede him here with just general pace, especially around a track like Baku, where you want a really nice setup to give you as much grip as you possibly can with having a low aero package so you can go as fast down this straight as possible. Kiwi is the driver that the game has selected. We'll see where everyone falls and who's looking to set the fastest lap. Everyone on that super soft compound of tyre, something we don't see in the F1 races in the Misfits because it's only available in a certain number of these F2 races. And Baku being one of the Kiwi, he was low in the timing tower, but he's now climbing just a little bit here as he comes out of turn 2, down this huge DRS straight into turn 3. And so far, so good for him. Williams already out of this one, possibly crashing into that outside barrier through turn 3 as Kiwi here comes out of turn 4. Someone we're not also familiar with seeing a little bit wide down into turn 5 through turn 6. And, well, you can just see here the lower speed of the F2 cars. Kiwi now actually climbing the order just a little bit. Brains right now at the top, a little bit of tap to the wall. Is there any damage on this high tech as he comes into the castle section? And that's a big smack into the castle wall. We're going to hop up on board with Psycho right now, who's been climbing quite steadily. Rutanius and Squid, they were fighting each other for the second spot, but they've dropped down now. Rutanius on a controller, unusual for him, usually on a wheel, but for these F2 events, he likes to push the boat out, use a controller when it's available to him. And Squid, well, he's dropped all the way down to 15th. Not quite sure what sort of problem he's had. Maybe he had an issue through Castle as well. But the Campus Racing car right now for Psycho in P2. Can he get past Brainstew? We'll have to wait and see. On board with him as he comes through now out of turn 20. A very slight right-hander on this huge flat-out section. DRS to the line. I think Brainstew will be the first across, though. He has been uncontested at the top for quite some time now. There it is, a 149.7. Welsh Toast jumps into a 150.3 to get P2. A little late there, and Psycho, I think, managed to clinch P3. He does. We'll see the rest of this grid in just a moment, but once the race starts, we don't have a formation lap, so we can't go through it here. But we've got Brainstew on pole. He picks up the 4 points for that. Welsh Toast in P2. Psycho, back row. Rutanius does pick up P5. Then Neon in 6th. Then we have Maka and Moen, the two Welshmen, in 7th and 8th. Lamp in 9th, and Lavelle rounds out the top 10. Then we have Eric, JA Games in 12th, Kiwi in 13th, Dark, Squid, Domi. Both Squid and Domi getting DSQ'd. Games by Shane and Matt and Williams as well. Not setting a time. I think that's for a DNF. I think that just means they crashed out at some point throughout the lap. But here we go. Into the race we go. Like I said, we won't have an out lap, but we do have a brief moment here, Alex, while everyone loads in.
Yeah, and it seems like the weather will be it seems like it's dry for all the sessions. Otherwise, the drivers would run to the chat and explain which weather we have in that case. But it doesn't seem like it's any different than dry. Probably a little cloudy. It doesn't seem at the moment even on the future race. So right now, these drivers selecting strategies. Remember that the people, the drivers can start on the compound they want. They have choices of mediums and super soft, I think it is on this case, on this round. So at the moment, waiting for West Coast, and it's 3 seconds to go, Unicorn.
Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure it is the mediums and the super softs for this one around Baku. Always only 2 tires available to the F2 drivers. And, well, again, we're just waiting for, I think, Dark now to load in. Fingers crossed it's not a game-breaking issue, and he does load in just a few moments' time. We like to be patient, but fingers crossed. There we go. We are in. And you can see a lot of those super soft tires. I think there is a medium on what looks like a high-tech a little bit further back on the grid. But here we are. We are away. Neon's jumped the start. We may not have a setup, but he does have a penalty to his name now, and he is dropping. Like I said, he hasn't really taken advantage of it. Rutanius, he's round at turn 1. He's completely facing the wrong way. He's been smacked by his teammate in Squid. He's facing a BWT. There's a VSC. He's caused a little bit of a safety, a VSC here, and he's caused a little bit of a traffic jam as well. He's trying to let people go, but there's a lot of debris on that first corner, Alex.
Yeah, I think it was Carlin. I don't know if it was Neon who lost the braking point on turn 1. And I think there was contact. Rutanius right now losing a bunch of positions, 13 positions he lost on that turn 1. Wellstows putting himself on P1 after starting on the front row. Ren still lost that spot. Then J Games as well, gaining 7 places, jumping into P5. So right now, very, very good start for some drivers and very bad start for Maka and Routinius.
Yeah, only a few drivers here who have held position. Lamp, Lavelle, and Psycho. Everyone else has moved on this, as well as Williams. He stayed in P19. But let's have a look at those tyres while we're still under this VSC. Super sots for pretty much everyone, 4 medium runners as we go back to Green Flag Racing and J8 Games off the start. Instantly around the outside of back row through turn 7. Nicely done from him. Moen just about getting a move done. I think it was Lamp and Kiwi who was side by side going into Castle.
And Squid got disqualified by going in the wrong way. I think he spun and probably had to do it without other way to navigate that part. And Eric, I think, got a move out of turn 12. I think Dark has damage and he's retaining all the back Domi. So right now Domi will try to dive on turn 15. It doesn't seem likely. So right now Dark, I think he smashed the back part of the Crema driver ahead of him. So right now Dark, I don't know if he has damage. I think he has, because that loss of pace on turn 14. And Eric is squeezing Maka on the exit of turn 16, side by side, going on this slalom. Maka on the outside.
Domi and I think that was Games by Shane has come together. A big slide. And there's another car in the back. I think yes, Domi as well, like you said. Goodness me, Alex. These guys are keeping this going together. We've got a full course yellow. What is that? It's a safety car. And I think that's just saved Brainstew for being re-overtaken by Wells Toast. Down into turn 1. A few people taking advantage of the pit stop here, but they can't serve their mandatory pit stop in these conditions. They can't serve it in the first 3 laps. You can do it on the safety car, but not at this stage of the race. Moen somehow getting past Lamp here. But, well, what a start it's been. We've got a little bit of a moment to breathe, though, Alex.
Yeah, that was massive. A lot of people bidding. You can see Kiwi, Eric, Neon, Rutenius, Dark, Shane, and Matt as drivers overtaking the safety car. Of course, the safety car will have to wait one more lap.
I do not know what has happened between Moen and Lamp there. But Moen has just sort of dive-bombed Lamp into turn 3. And they've both crashed. And Lamp now down into P9. I think both have damage. Let's have a look at the front of that Campos racing car. He is missing a left end plate and the BWT race lab. Let's have a look. He's missing a huge portion of that right-hand side and an end plate on the left.
Yeah, I really missed. Oh yeah, the Campos driver has a portion of his wing off, and now he's overtaking under safety car conditions. I really don't think the stewards will like this behavior under full yellow flag. He's really close on the back of the BWT. I really hope he doesn't do anything wrong. Right now, he overtakes him and he goes ahead of him. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what these guys are doing, but I gotta be careful. This is not something. Oh, Lamp picks up a 5-second penalty himself for his efforts here, and well, this isn't the time to be fighting, but we'll let them do whatever it is. Leave them to it, I guess. As well, there are people watching. Stewards do watch these races, and they will penalise drivers for misbehaving, as it were, as those two get entangled with one another. And well, it's Brainstew leading this race. He started in P1 and he's still in P1. He comes into the pits though, Alex.
Yes,
that's interesting.
I think you can. Oh my god, Lamb missing the braking point, almost hitting Mo. Well, just go into the pits. So right now, I think Brainstew, there's I think, do you remember last week when Eric tried to pit it on the end of lap 2 and tried to go to the end, and he had to pit again on the second to last lap? But then I talked with him, and it seems like sometimes you can do that. You can actually pit on the end of lap 2 and go to the end. So, and the game detects as you are pitting on lap 3. So that's why. So right now, Brain's still pitting. I think is probably serving the mandatory pit stop, and I really think he hopes he's doing it. But the thing is, really, really tight on the strategy, and we will have to see at the end of this race.
Yeah, we were just having a look there, and you can see, if you look at the pit line and the pit entrance, and then where the line is, there's a few garages behind the pit, the finish line. And this is what we were talking about last week after the race, is that some garages, if your garage is behind the line, I think it allows you, at least on some tracks, to consider yourself on the next lap. That is the sort of, strategy, if you like. So some drivers, I think, based on this pit lane, because of the way Baku's pit lane is structured, Most drivers should be able to do it this week if they wanted to. Obviously, we're already on lap 3 now, so it doesn't really matter. But that is sort of how you go about doing that. But looking at where everyone is, Welsh Toast up 1 into first. Psycho's up 1 into second. JA Games, what a start, Alex. 9 places gained for him. He's into 3rd place. Back row, penalty. He's held on to 4th, but he has got that penalty. Lovell, he's up 5 into 5th. Mack is up 1. His teammate Williams behind him. From last on the grid, 12 places up to 7th place. Domi, despite the issues, has he pitted actually? Because he did have damage, I think. Let's have a little look here. He hasn't got damage, so either he has pitted and done very nicely for himself here, or he kept himself damage-free despite the incident, which either way, very nice, up 8 places. Similarly, Brainstew, he's just come into the pits. He's down 8. Neon, he's got that penalty to jumping the start. He's down 4. Moen's down 3. Kiwi, he's up 1. Lamps down 4. Dark, amazingly, his held position in that Uni Virtuosi. He's still in 14th. Rutanius, after that lap 1 incident, is down 10. Matt's up 2 in 16th. Shane is staying where he is, and Eric is in 18th. We've got a few more pitters now, Alex.
Yes, we have. It's a lot of drivers. Back row will stay out. Teammate will still spit it, so he doesn't want to do the double stack. Now he will have cleaner after this restart, and yeah, a lot of variety on this. Strategies Domi on 3 lap all mediums, Brainstew on 0 lap all mediums, so he's already on P4, and I think he served already that mandatory pit stop. A lot of drivers changing front wing. It's the case of Maka, who is now dropping on this time tower. He will be, I guess, around P14, P13. It depends now. He's changing to these mediums. A lot of drivers doing that. And Matt, well, both leaders, Backrow and Williams, Matt as well. And I think Shane will stay on that super soft.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Now we've got a little, a break. I imagine if these guys at the back can catch up, the safety car should come in. It's been out for a fair few laps now. And it was a very dramatic start to this race. And, well, safety cars can breed safety cars. It's probably the most used race on the MRL Twitch channel. And for good reason, because it usually proves itself to be true. And these drivers, they have to be on top of their toes. And we've already seen a few incidents here, some of which it's just the nature of the track here, Alex. It's a tightly walled circuit, but it's one in which you can overtake on. And it promotes sort of confidence to put your car into these corners, because if this track didn't have the walls, it would be, super easy to make these overtakes. But the challenge comes when avoiding losing an end plate, and that's what the drivers have to be careful of.
Definitely. That's as Shreve likes to call this track. It's like a cage. You have the walls, and on both parts of the track, sometimes you have breathing space, probably on main straight or entering sector 3. But even though you have the slalom of sector 3, you have the castle section, you have the first sector where you have a 90 degrees corner, and very, very easy to lock up and go a little bit wide, losing the reference, and then just clip the wall. So it seems like the safety car will not be on this lap. I think Shane is the last drivers here right now entering sector 2, so it doesn't seem like green flag will be on lap 5. It should be on lap 6.
Don't know if Lamps just had an issue, but he's just got passed by Welsh Toast. We're going to see if there's any damage on the Campos. I think he might. There's a little bit of a gap here. I think they were just trying to get as many laps done on the Superstars as possible, just so that they've got the maximum tire life possible on the mediums. But, well, they are going to get thrown right to the back of this grid. And, well, now Domi, the only one who hasn't pitted in this race at all. And if Kiwi and Dark have done it correctly, then no, I think they will have to pit again. If Brainstew, has done it correctly, then he won't have to pit again. Everyone else should be good to the end. But yeah, a little bit unfortunate they've got thrown all the way back to the grid, but that's what happens when you pit late in the course of a safety car.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like it's the same strategy for everyone, but we have different drivers who pitted on one lap before, one lap after, so we really don't know how is this going to turn out. So right now, it will Domi leading. Of course, he has to pit, but still, he can probably hold that and wait for another safety car, or, well, not a BSC, I was going to say. BSC, you cannot serve that mandatory pit stop, so should be on another occasion rather than on a BSC condition.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're just joining us, this is the feature race, the first of 2 races this evening for Misfits Racing League F2. Actually, it's how we love to round out our week here on a Sunday evening in the UK and Europe, and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those of our friends over in America. But just joining us, thank you very much for watching. We appreciate all the support, and a big shout out as well to our partners, Next Level Racing. It's down in the chat there, the link also in the panels below if you want to check them out for some awesome sim racing rigs. Do be sure to give them a check out because there's some awesome stuff and they're doing brilliant things for the sim racing community. But with that being said, Alex, safety car is finally coming in here on lap 5. Lap 6 we'll have green flag racing once again, and Domi leading the charge on slightly worn mediums as Dark and Kiwi seem to have come together, and both of whom have picked up a 5-second penalties for their efforts. The slowdown here really just catching them off guard, it would seem.
Yeah, Domi really slowing down here on this restart. So some drivers really impatient on that throttle. Seems like Dark was really close on the back of Kiwi and tapped the rear. We'll have to have a 5-second penalty there to the end if he doesn't serve it before. So we're waiting for Domi. It seems like his green flag. Brain still cuts it. It seems like a very good start for him. Kiwi, I think he fell asleep a little bit on that restart. So right now, Brain still really close on the slipstream of Domi. The RT driver will go defensive on the inside. The Universuosi driver on the outside. Probably a switchback. It's a contact between the rear and the front of Brain and Domi. Right now, Brain on the inside of turn 2. He has to yield, and Domi will take that first place. We have an exchange. It's JA Games ahead of Lamb. Lamb still with the rear. With the front, tapping their JF Gains. There's a lot of exchange here. Lovell on the outside of the campus driver.
Yeah, a lot of exchanging going on here off of the safety car restart. Lovell just ahead of Psycho. Psycho's teammate Lamp just behind. And Psycho having a look up the inside. Brainstew and Domi, they're exchanging their side by side through turn 4. The Universuosi on the inside ahead of the ART driver. They're still side by side as they go down towards turn 5. It's a chicane, so Domi will have the opening inside. But there you go. You can see Brainstew using that inside into turn 6. Domi almost had the run he needed to get the run into turn 7. Not going to find it, though, at the moment. And they've got Kiwi just looking at the back. What's happened to Shane?
There's a big issue. I think he spun and he crashed into the wall. We'll see on the POV of Backrow. Backrow having problems right now. I don't know if it's an input problem. I think we have safety car. No, we have a virtual safety car. So Shane, I think he jumped the curb there on turn 6 and jumped and went straight into the wall. So that's a big issue for the BWT driver. Now Backrow slowing down his pace due to this virtual safety car. So this close this grid very close, and we can see a lot of drivers there on the DRS window still.
Yeah, and super unfortunate to see Shane. Now this becomes the second retirement of the race, and well, this is Baku. It's a magnet for safety cars, VSCs. It's so tricky to perfect it lap after lap, particularly when we got on that restart. We just said it, safety cars breed safety cars, but we are once again green flag racing, and Kiwi seems to have a brilliant run on the leaders. This guy in the high tech has got absolutely blistering pace here on the restart. He's going right around the outside. He's got both Domi and Brainstew. Brainstew's ahead of Domi. They're side by side down into turn 1, but Domi has got Kiwi right ahead of him. He pulls out onto the inside just with enough space for Brainstew. And my goodness, they did very well to keep themselves all working. And well, Domi's up the inside. He's looking for Kiwi again. Brainstew's now going to look to do exactly what Kiwi did on the restart and get both of them coming out of turn 2. Kiwi seems to be carrying the most speed out of the corner. Domi's slip-shaming him though.
It's J Games who will overtake Brainsteel. We'll see on the braking zone. It will be from Brainsteel. J Games really yielding there, and Kiwi still on the first place. What a restart out of BSC. Right now, the high-tech driver really hoping there, and J Games on the inside of turn 4, sorry, and Brainsteel still holding there on the outside on traction. Seems like the Universuosi will have the upper hand, but J Games still very close. Domi's trying to do the switchback on Kiwi. It seems like on traction will have a better pace, but still.
There's been an incident behind. Sorry to interrupt, as Psycho, he was going side by side with his teammate. He's just got clipped on the rear by Welsh Toast, I think it was. The Charouz racing car just clipping that rear wheel, and there's nothing anyone can do to get out of the way. Thankfully, no one's too bad. It's just, I think, Matt, is that back row who's dropped as a result of this. There's a few drivers who are a little bit behind, but everyone else still going in this one, Alex. And Well, Lamp now with a nice run. Yeah.
Lamp is very close on turn 15. We'll see he doesn't jump the curb that much. Very good taken there on turn 15. Lamp really lurking on the inside of J Games, going a little bit wide. The MP Motorsport driver, Lamp go on throttle, but Brainsteel ahead of him is really close on Domi. Kiwi, he's really stretching that gap, and we have a retirement. I don't know if there's a safety car. It's a BSC, I think.
And there's another VSC, and that stops any overtaking anywhere on track, including these guys who were about to, you know, go tooth and nail into turn 1. And, well, it's a little bit unfortunate to see it. We are about halfway through this race now. It's Psycho who's out of this one. Not quite sure where he's retired, and, well, it wasn't the best of restart for him.
Yeah, he lost it on the traction on turn 16 as Neon did on tier 2 race. So right now, level bidding for Neo compounds, I will guess it will be mediums. So VSC, I think, should be now ending as these leaders are putting the throttle down on this second straight. No DRS, of course, full course yellow. So Domi really closing there, trying to catch the delta on the best point possible. Now slowing down the leaders. We will see when they catch this green flag, and we hope anyone gets a drive-through.
Yeah, fingers crossed these guys absolutely nail the restart. And here goes Brainstew. He's already looking around the outside of 5. It's a very opportunistic move. It's not really where you want to be on the restart. And Domi just defending perfectly through the chicane. It's giving Kimi a little bit of breathing room ahead of them here as Brainstew in this Uni Virtuosi car hunts down Domi in that ART and through into Castle they go. Obviously no overtaking through here unless someone has an issue. Wells toast, and Neon, we only caught the end of that, but he's just slipped through on the entrance to turn 8, the start of Castle. And, well, it's risky, but if you can get it done, you can get it done. And, Wells Neon's done just that. So, very nicely executed move from him. Meanwhile, JA Games Lamp, they're still closely knit on this grid. And Lamp just having a look through turn 15, trying to jump as much of the curb. He has a look up the inside of turn 16, not really going to do anything there. It really hinders your exit as well, and a little bit of a snap from the rear as well. You can see him have to counter it out of the corner, but Brainstew all over the rear of Domi, really utilizing that slipstream off of this ART. He snaps to the outside. He's looking for it. Rutanius is past Wellstones, but it's all eyes on the battle for P2 right now. Brainstew, he's side by side with Domi. He's slingshot his way past, and now he's slipstreaming Kiwi down towards turn 1. The 2 behind, Lamp and JA Games exchanged. And what has happened here?
Williams crashed on Castle. He lost it there. I think he went wide on turn 8, clipped the wall, break the suspension. Oh, and there's a crash between the leaders. Brainsteel didn't stop at time. Kiwi bus was there, stopped, and well, they both will have 5-second penalty, and Brainsteel has missing a lot of that front wing on their left part. He will have to beat Shirley.
Yeah, that is so unfortunate for these guys. And, well, this is really opening the door up for Lamp because Domi needs to pit. Kiwi's got a 5-second penalty. Brainstew, I think, just got a 5-second as well. Let's have a quick look at the penalty situation. It's 10 seconds for Kiwi, 5 for Brainstew. Obviously, post-race, you know, drivers can contest, try and get these sort of things removed by the stewards, but if they serve them in the pit lane, nothing they can do about it. So, for the likes of Brainstew, he's going to have to serve that in the pit lane when he gets the new front wing. So, very unfortunate for him. But another safety car here in Baku, and, well, this track, pretty infamous for that. And, well, it sort of comes part and parcel, Alex. When we go to Baku, you expect a safety car or two here because of the nature of the track. And, well, the racing it produces is brilliant, but it's kind of unfortunate when you get, you know, these safety cars that just stop the action as they are right now.
Totally. We'll see if some drivers try to pit here, but if they pit, we'll have to use another compound, and well, most likely they will, well, of course, use another compound, and that compound should be used for the sprint race. So they really don't want to do it to change compound unless it's mandatory in case of Domi. So Domi will not be losing that much time. I think he will rejoin probably on P12, P13. So we will see how this turns out for these leaders. Brainsteel will have to pit. Surely has a massive portion of that front wing missing at the moment, as we can see on the cameras. So I really think he will pit, and I really hope Kiwi doesn't pit. He doesn't need to, but I think he will pit either.
Well, he's sort of half and half on the line here, and Well, that's not really aided Brainstew, who's trying to get into the pit lane as well. So, oh, and he's picked up another 5-second because Brainstew just tapped the rear there. It's such a light incident, but very, very unfortunate. Neon, he's still got that drive-through from the start, and we'll see how that sort of... he needs to get rid of it because he's had it since the start, like I say, and, well, holding on to that isn't going to do him any favors. Brainstew now getting that front wing. He's got a half and half here on the car. You can see he's got the mediums and the super softs on there. There we go. The game getting that sorted out for us. He's changed the tires and all of them magically changing color here, but he's onto those super softs now, and the pace here. Domi also pitted as well. I didn't actually notice that. Domi came in. He's P10 now on the super softs. I wonder what he could do in this ART. Maybe aiming for pole position in the next one. I don't think he had wing damage, but maybe he did. Not quite sure, but...
Yeah, I think he didn't have any penalty, so he only pitted. But still rejoined on P10, so at the moment, Domi, well, just nursing all the damage of starting on the wrong compound, because that safety car was perfect for the other, the super soft runners on the beginning. So he started on mediums and he had to pay because that, now putting the super soft and trying to go to the end. Princey was well putting the super soft, as well as Kiwi, Lobel, and Eric.
Yeah, meanwhile, up at the front, we now have Lamp, JA Games. They've been fighting pretty hard throughout the green flag racing that we have had here at Baku, and now Lamp's ahead. He did get past JA Games. Now he's going to start this safety car restart in probably next lap. We'll probably go green flag racing on lap 12. 3 laps. Oh, or 4 laps, sorry, we'll have a racing, I think. Yeah, 4 laps. And, well, these two are going to fight. Neon's got that drive-through, so that will give them a little bit of a buffer. Rutanius there in P4. That's a 5-second penalty. Then Maka, Welsh Toast, Mogan, Matt, and all 3. And back row, he's got a penalty too. But there are still plenty of people who could finish on this first podium. Obviously, we will have another race after this one. Darian Alfie, thank you very much for the raid. Big shout out to Darian, a racer in the Misfits Racing League. So, awesome. Thank you so much for the raid, Darian. And welcome to anyone from Darian's stream. Hope you're having a good evening. We're here on the feature race. We're 10 laps into the feature race. We'll have a sprint race after this one concludes.
Yeah, we're now Lobel lost connection. Now rejoining the lobby. That's why all the gaps, the intervals are resetting. So no major problem, it seems, for these drivers. 5-second time penalty for Eric Quintero because he lost. No, he was ignoring yellow flags. I don't know if he overtook someone or probably just the game messing around. It seems like it was more the second one, as Lamb really needs to catch that safety car. Is really far away. Yeah, now it's everything good. So I guess should be on this lap. All the grid is compressed. So should be green flag from lap 12. 4 laps racing. So one of the DRS, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Lamp really warming those tires. You can see him just weaving all over the place and just really trying as hard as he can to keep some heat in those medium compounds. And, well, fingers crossed he's doing a good job, because he needs the heat so he can get the best start as possible and really put a gap between him and JA Games. That is his goal here on the restart. He's not really got anyone else to worry about right now. Neon, Rutanius, both with penalties. Neon's being a drive-through, so he's really going to have a hard time finishing anywhere in the points here in this race, I think. And maybe he can pick up one if he really fights. And, I don't think he's picked up any other penalties, so he's not got anything to apply post-race. Maybe that could be a saving grace here. But like you said, fingers crossed, if safety car comes in at the end of this lap, we can go back to green flag racing and we can watch Lamp restart this grid. And, well, I look forward to the racing resuming very much so. But thank you everyone for hanging out, and, well, we'll be going there in a minute. And someone asked for the penalty times. There we are. We've got a drive through for Neon, 5 seconds for Rutanius, and back row safety car is in 10 seconds for Kiwi. Brainstew 5 seconds, and Eric 5 seconds as well.
Yeah, so right now Lamb will be leading this grid. He can't go on the pace as he wants. So right now, really slowing down this grid, as I said. Safety car going in this lap. You can see on the minimap that yellow dot will be going to the pits. So right now, Lamp really timing this as well as he can, not changing the pace. Very good restart so far for Lamp. We will see when he can put that throttle. Oh, who is that? Is it Neon?
And Neon's
Neon
really
overtook
just
everyone
gunned it.
to drive through. He's going to serve the drive through, but I really don't think that was legal.
Well, safety car's still in effect, Alex. It only ends now, so... Well, yeah, he's ignored the drive. Oh, that's why he's done it. Because he was at the end of the lap tether. He'd done so many laps that it was pretty much impossible. I don't know how he could have done it.
Sorry, Rutenius on the inside. I think Maka throw the gauntlet on him on turn 2. Very, very good move from the Prema driver. But now the Dams driver wants to take it back. That podium place. Rutenius with the penalty, I think, from 5 seconds of the beginning of this race. Almost losing the rear there. And Westos is very, very close on the Dams driver with the Charuth. Sorry. So we will see if he can really take that move on him. Domi as well overtaking backward at the moment with fresher tires and better tires and thus super softs. He will try to do the comeback from there.
Yeah, he hasn't got too many laps to do it. I think Matt's had a problem. He is the Charouz racing car just getting itself spun around now. And let's have a look at that front wing. It's missing something. How much is it missing? Just an end plate, but that's still going to impede him a fair bit here. Welsh Toast is behind Rutenius, and he's got Moen barking up his gearbox as well. Moen done a fairly nice recovery drive after the shenanigans he had under the first safety car. But now himself and Lamp in P1 right now, so he's had a really great recovery from that. But we've got a little bit of a train here. Matt, he's out of the session. He's had a problem through Castle, yeah.
Tell me there's no safety car. Tell me there was no safety car. It seems like it's only a yellow flag there on that section of Sector 2 at the moment. So hopefully we'll not have a full course yellow. Eric overtaking Kiwi on the inside of turn 16. I don't know if Kiwi has damage. Yes, he has. That's massive disappointment for him. He was leading this race, you remember? And now after the safety car, he had to pit and then now suffering for that damage. Eric very close on the back of Lovell, who will take the inside line on turn 20. So it's a very easy move for the high-tech driver. He will do the comeback from there. Lamp doing the fastest lap, and now Moen side by side with Wellstos, if I'm not mistaken. Right now Moen on the BWT, losing it a little bit there, and Domi on the inside Unicorn.
Yeah, Moen just looked a little uneasy going into turn 1. He opened the door for Domi because he was trying to get out of the way of Welsh Toast. And now on the inside of Domi, can Moen find a way through? He can't. Oh, there's a bit of contact between Welsh Toast and Domi. Domi just seems to be going faster. Yeah, I think, like you said, I think some sort of netcode issue there might have caused that one, because that was some random just snap to the wall for Welsh Toast. You hate to see it. You know, the game's issues and just connection issues wreak havoc in these races, but it's a problem that all the drivers face, and it's just so unlucky when you are the driver that is on the receiving end. Welsh Toast now with a huge portion of damage to that front wing missing. I don't think it was his fault, but either way, he is in 8th place right now. If he can hold off Eric by some miracle for the last 2.5 laps, then maybe he could start pole and get a nice redemption drive in the sprint race in just a few moments. But as it stands, he's in a really bad place right now. His teammate just ahead of him, that's back row, he's got a penalty. Dark, Brain Stew, they've exchanged. Well, that's because Dark's had an issue in Callum Ilot's car through Castle.
Brain Stew has no wing at all. So right now Brain Stew, he was leading. He just started this on pole position. And this is just disappointment from him, as well as Kiwi, who as well lost a lot of that wing right now. Domi very, very close, as well as Eric on the back of Wellstos, missing, of course, a lot of wing after that snap of oversteer on straight. So it seems like an easy overtake should be for Eric, and we will see if Domi can do the same on Rutenius.
Yeah, Eric. Oh, there's a massive amount of lag, and well, thankfully that didn't cause the crash it looked like it was going to cause. But Domi, Rutenius, they're going side by side into turn 1. Domi not quite finding the move, and he is missing the end play. I think that's what's costing him here. But fingers crossed, they don't have the same issues that Welsh Toast, I think, was having. Kiwi, he's called it quits in the pit lane. And Domi right now, just DRS. Stuck behind Rutenius, who's also got DRS on Maka ahead. Maka, someone we've seen on the F2 podium a fair few times, and well, it looks like today we could see that once more for the Prima driver. And Domi, look at the traction he's got with these super softs compared to Rutenius. almost running into the back of the dams there, but he's not going to through here. A little bit of collision for the wall, I think, for Rutanius, scraping it. And now Domi, a nice bit of traction out of turn 6. Can he get the run down into 7 later on the brakes than the dams driver? Rutanius around the outside, trying to hold it here on the medium tires, but the super softs are really giving Domi everything he needs, almost into the wall of Castle. That was literally millimeters away. He's just about nailed that corner, but my goodness, that has been done so well by the ART driver, Alex.
Yeah, now he's really going into the podium. It's only 1 second, even less, 8/10 is the gap between him and Maka, the doors of that podium, and let's see if he can catch even more. But we are just going to start that last lap of the feature race. Remember, we have the sprint race after this one, just back to back, and at the moment Eric should be at the pole sitter for that one, but he has a 5-second time penalty if I'm not mistaken. So right now Domi really close there. I don't know if he will have DRS. I really don't think. Yes, he will actually have the DRS, but I think Maka will not. And now back row overtaking Moen there on the main straight after turn 20. A really easy overtake on that main straight.
Yeah, like you said, super easy. Seen it time and time again here. DRS, just super powerful. Slipstream as well. Moen doesn't have a penalty, though, so he might maybe get away with it, you know, get that position back when it comes to the post-race application of these time penalties that a few of these drivers have. But Domi, a little bit of a DRS train here. He's behind Maka. He's got Rutanius behind him and the 3 cars. They're not too spaced out here. Domi on the super softs, a little bit of damage though. Maka, Rutanius, both on the aging mediums, and I think both of their cars are fine. Don't know if Rutanius is sporting any damage on the Dams car. Let's have a quick look. He's not. Both wings are fine for the medium runners, but the super softs are really affording Domi a little bit of extra grit. Now having a look, can he do what he did to Rutanius just 1 lap ago? It's not going to be for him, and well, this is the last lap, Alex. He's got to make a move quickly. Now maybe trying it out of turn. Well, he thought better of it. That would have been a bold move, and I think he knows that. And right now, 4th isn't a bad place to finish, but he'd love 3rd. He really would, and you can see him looking for it now, coming out of 12. The Prima driver getting a better exit, actually, and it looks like someone's had an issue. Eric, I think, is round. He's just reversing out of the way, but that's not how you want to end the race here for the high-tech driver, and that's going to cost him what could have been a nice start on the reverse grid. And it looks like Brainsy's had an issue as well. He's had an issue coming into Castle, but let's see if Domi can get the exit he needs here on Macquarie. Looks like he had the traction going into the corner, but it's all about exit speed, not entrance speed here. And let's see, what can the Prima driver do? Lamp, he looks like he's on to take a pretty good victory. Domi scrapes the wall. That damage is really costing him. You can see the downforce, or the lack thereof, is costing him. He will have the DRS to the line. We're not going to go on board with Lamp as he crosses the line, because Domi without penalties, Maka without penalties. It looks like Domi's just got him on the line. You love to see it. He's just picked up P3. Moen gets promoted ahead of Rutanius. And what a finish, Alex. I would love to see the intervals between that, because, well, Domi's just snuck past there.
Very close. It was a very good comeback after all of that pit stop Domi had to do. I think on the final stages of this race, I think it was lap 9. So Domi taking that podium on the line. That was amazing from both of them. Maka really trying to stay ahead, but those super soft for Domi, even with the damage he had on the front wing, really was good for him. So Lamp will take 1st place, A Games will take 2nd, and Domi running out that podium will take 3rd place in a car.
I think my mic was muted. There we are.
Yep. I think you were.
But yeah, Domi, driver of the day. I think it goes without saying, a really nice drive. But again, a brilliant drive from Lamp here. He had a few issues under the safety car there, but managed to recover and now stands on the top spot of the podium. I don't think we've ever seen him on the top spot in an F2 race, Alex. So nice to see someone else standing on that podium there. And let's have a look at the rest of the standings. So Lamp there in P1. J.A. Gaines from 12th on the grid. Really nice stuff from him. Domi 16th to 3rd. A brilliant race from him. The 2 Welshmen in Maka and Moen pick up 4th and 5th. Rutanius, the first of the losers, 5th to 6th here for him. But a nice recovery drive given the spin into turn 1. Back row in 7th, Lovell in 8th, so he will start pole position in the next one. Then we have Welsh Toast, Eric, Dark. And the only other finishers. Brainstew classified as finished, but he did crash on the last lap in through Castle. Kiwi as well. I do believe he retired from the race in the pit lane with just 2 laps to go. Then the official DNFs are Matt Williams, Psycho, Shane, Neon, and Squid as well. Neon getting DSQ'd for ignoring a drive through, which he was trying to serve, but just went a little bit too early. So nicely done from these drivers, and we're going to be moving on to that sprint race in just a moment. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, 76 milliseconds. It was, I think, the difference between Maka and Domi. That's why they're saying on the chat. So right now, just waiting for this drivers to load in, and we can go to this sprint race here on Baku. Neon and Squid both were DSQ'd, one from going in the wrong way, and the other for serving the drive-through lately. Well, or at least not being patient and not waiting for green flag racing. So at the moment, I think Dark had to leave because probably he was holding the lobby.
Well, he had some sort of connection issue beforehand, I think, so a little unfortunate. We've got 23 seconds on the clock until we get underway for the second race here. Slightly shorter, no mandatory pit stop as well, so I imagine a lot of these guys are going to try and take mediums all the way through, if not super soft, depending on how many laps it is, but I think it will be mediums, because it's usually the harder compound of tyres for the F2 drivers. But we're just waiting on Kiwi now to load in. We've got everyone in. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here at Baku for the final Azerbaijan race. And JA Games this time with the jump start. It's the second jump start we've seen today. But let's have a look and see who is going where. We've got 3 wide down into turn 1. Lavelle's had a terrible start. But now with the switchback, he's got back row. He's not going to get Rutenius though. Or is he? Down towards turn 2. Moen's picked up 3rd place. Rutenius on the outside. Can he hold it? Can he hold on to P1? We've got a VSC. And who was ahead?
I think it was Slobel ahead of Backrow and Backrow ahead of
what is going on down here?
Oh, that's massive. I think there was massive contact on the exit of turn 2. I think Kiwi, Maka, and Psycho crashed there. But there was not only there, but the group of leaders, out of that group of leaders, there was contact between, I think, 5th place and 6th place. Right now, I don't really know who was that, but it seems like Eric gained 5 places, as well as Brain still 5 places, and Neon 6 places. He started this race on the back.
Yeah, well, Rutenius now leads up 2, and we're going back to green flag racing, and we'll see. It looks like Neon, a nice start from him. He's just snuck past Williams, who might be struggling here. A lot of these guys down here have damage, and Neon just trying to aggressively squeeze Williams to try and make it so there's not enough room for him to come back past the S&P racing car. A fresh front wing means that he's got a lot more traction, but he's not finding it. And he's actually losing out not only to Neon, but to JA Games as well. And he's a bit hot into Castle. He's caused a bit of a collision. Shane's got into the back of him. We've got Squid Matt all piling in there, and it's just, you've got to be a bit more patient than that going into Castle. There's not a lot of room for movement.
And Shane, I think, crashed going straight into the wall. So very unlucky for the BW's driver. Oh, and Matt went a little bit wide on turn 15, and now he will lose the rear. I think he's out of this race as well. He lost it. He had understeer, he clashed it to the wall, and then oversteer killed him into the wall again. So Rutenius will be leading this from Lovell, then back row, and then Moen, who's in the super soft compound, and he will have to pit. Now we have a full safety car, so this is beautiful for Moen.
Yeah, full safety car. Not surprising given that we had 2 cars there just retired. One on the off track, and I don't think we were going to get one for that. But Matt there, well, his rear wheel was completely hanging off, and he was just outside the racing line in a very narrow portion of the track. So not surprising that we've seen a safety car here, a VSC and a safety car all coming out in lap 1. Not exactly what you want to see, but Rutenius, he has beaten the safety car out here. So we'll have to see how this influences any potential pit stops here. So I wonder if anyone comes in for super softs. I don't know whether you could stretch them to the end from here. That's the question you've got to ask yourself. So if you're a driver, it's a split second
and Eric
decision.
will try it. Yes, it seems like. And Dark, I think he's AI, but I'm really not sure. I really don't know. So yes, Domi and Eric as well as Psycho will try to bring those super softs to the end. Right now, Domi ahead of Eric, just outside the top 10. Remember, the top 8 is the 8 first drivers who finish this race will take the points here on the sprint race. It's not as the future race. So, yeah, and of course, the fastest lap, the driver with the fastest lap will take 2 more points. That's on the future race and on the sprint race. Pole position, of course, I think was for Brain Steel and will take 4 points. Right now, the pole sitter of this one-shot qualifying is on P4, really climbing this tower after all these incidents and the safety car we have right now.
Yeah, and it's going to be out for a little while here because, well, first of all, the leaders have got to catch it, Alex. So you can see it parked just outside of turn 2. Once these guys reach it, they'll start bunching up and then they'll go around, hopefully just for a lap, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it if it was 2. And, well, in a short sprint race like this, that can, it's going to be a good third of the race here, Alex, that we serve under full yellow flag conditions. And it's just as a result of some of these drivers not quite being patient enough. You've got to respect the track here. You've got to be patient. You've got to look at what's happening in front of you and react to it before it causes an incident. Don't react to the incident. You've got to react before it happens. And, well, I think a few of these drivers are going to learn a hard lesson here. Not only about Baku, but as just reacting to some things on track as a whole. But so far, so good for the leaders. And some of them have been very, very impressive. And we've seen some brilliant overtakes so far. And we've still got 7 laps, hopefully, of green flag racing to go. Might have a little less than that if we see another VSC or something.
I wish we don't. I really like racing, and I guess all the viewers on the chat as well. So very, very thankful for all these viewers we have right now. We are on lap 3 of the sprint race. My name is Alex Bido, and we have here Unicorn from the UK. So right now, just waiting for some drivers to regroup on this queue, and this will be green flag racing soon.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see there, though, the grid is a bit spaced out. So I think we might go around once more and then lap 5, green flag racing. And fingers crossed from that point on, we don't see that Mercedes leading this track once more. We've got I think Adam's leading this one right now. And it is Rutenius up at the front. I think Dan Tixom's car.
Neon and Eric, they really don't think the Supersoft was able to go to the end. So I guess on the first time they pitted for damage, and the second one they pitted for tires. So probably they can catch the safety car queue before it enters sector 3, and hopefully we can have a green flag on lap 4, and should be 8 laps of green flag. They are there on turn 2, Neon on the mediums, and Eric as well with old medium. Both of them, Domi, Psycho, and Dark, will be on the Supersoft.
Yeah, Rutenius right now. Well, he didn't have brilliant luck in the first race, at least at the start. Then he had a pretty quiet recovery job. We didn't see him too much, but he did claw his way back to what I think was P5. So a really nice race from him in the first one. He hasn't got too much experience in the F2 cars. He focuses mostly, of course, on his Tier 3 Drivers' Championship campaign, which he's doing particularly well in. And right now, he's on a controller, a different input to what he's used to, in a different car than he's used to. And he's doing surprisingly well right now. And I don't know how high his hopes were coming into this one, particularly after a challenging race on Tuesday for him in Tier 3. But now, up in the lead of this race, can he hold on to it? Can he get a P1 here? I'm sure he'd love that. He's, a big part of his community, and he's got a lot of friends in this grid. I'm sure he'd love to win these bragging rights over Lovell. Back row, hungry to take these positions from him. There's a huge train, Alex, of these guys who started on the mediums who didn't get into damage or problem in that first lap. And that could really, see some interesting fights coming out of them in this later stage of this race.
Now J Games bidding for new mediums should be, but I really don't think he has new mediums. Probably are the mediums of the feature race. I hope they are new, because otherwise they'll be dead. So right now J Games exiting the pit lane, and he will be rejoining P14. So it's just waiting for this group to catch the safety car again.
Yeah, and once they do, it should come in. Fingers crossed. Lap 5, green flag racing. It's what we all want to see. If only we could assume race control and tell that car to get back to the pit lane at the end of this one. I think it will, though, because Eric, Neon, they're not too far away from the rest of the bunch. And as a result, the safety car, when it crosses the timing line into Sector 3, we should get that lovely little message telling us that we're going to go racing once more. And of course, it is Brutanius leading this one ahead of Lavelle, Backrow, Brainstew, Lamp, Welsh Toast, Dark, Macca, Squid, Domi rounds out the top 10. Then Moen, Williams, Psycho, JA Games, Neon, Eric still running, Matt, Shane, and Kiwi out of this sprint race. But yeah, what a race, or what races we've had so far. And fingers crossed we can see a little bit more racing here and see some of these guys go wheel to wheel, because we were really enjoying it when it was happening, and especially down into turn 1. These guys have been pulling off some brilliant moves on one another. The safety car hasn't been called in, though.
Yeah, it should be now. Look at Eric just catching, and there it is. There it is, the call from race director. Safety car is on this lap unicorn, and Rutinius will be leading this restart on the pad, as you said, on the input. Different input than always, so just stay tuned to see the other input is a wheel for Rutinius, and he's, of course, as you said, leading the championship on tier 3. As I said, stay tuned on Tuesday at 8 p.m. GMT, 3 p.m. the standard. So Rutinius on tier 3 driving, as well as other drivers like Backrow and Lovell. So right now Rutinius really holding his read, and it's green flag, it seems, because Rutinius just put the throttle down. Backrow as well, a very good start. Lovell, I think, falling a little down, and then Welsh Toast really close on that campus racing car.
Yeah, you can see him now all over the rear lamp. Can he find anything down into turn 1? Brainstew's looking on the inside of Backrow, and I think Welsh Toast might have just found a little bit of a bump for the rear. There goes Macca into the wall just on the pit exit there. The timing tower having a bit of a problem, I think, because it's... Well, actually, no, it's dark on the inside. It's because the car is a different color to the stripe on the timing tower. He's losing out to Domi. The super soft tires to Domi really working out. He just needs to make sure they can get to the end for him. He had a brilliant charge in the first race, and look at the speed he's got down into turn 3 on Squid. He's side by side with the other Dams car. His teammate leading the race. Squid getting a little bit skew whip out of there. Can Dark find a move on him? Also on the super softs here, you can hear a little bit of a crunch behind. Looks like everyone's still going through. Brainstew, Backrow, they're side by side through 5 into 6. The chicane letting Brainstew past. Can he hold it? He's got the inside line down towards turn 7. Can he stay ahead here? Backrow a little later on the brakes, but he can't risk too much. Turn 7, there's a beautifully marked Pirelli wall there, and he doesn't want to send his front wing flying off into that one. Neon, he gets past Moen. He's loved this turn 7, turn 8 overtake, and he's been really nailing it. It's a pretty unusual overtaking spot, but if you've got it down, no one expects it, and they sort of let their guards down. He's right now on the rear of Dark, and, well,
Dark
can he find the move?
Oh, very close. There's contact. Neon will tap Dark, and Dark seems like he's going straight to the wall. He will lose.
Oh, no, you hate to see that. That is not what you want to be seeing. Psycho, what was going to be a brilliant move on 2 drivers, just missed his braking point completely and then sends it straight into Neon. Neon not going to be happy with that one. Lavelle, though, he's lost out to Brainstew as he got damage here in the car lane because he's going super slowly. Is there damage on Deruvala's car? We can't see the camera angle, not really playing ball, but let's go ball with Lamp because he's going side by side with Backrow. They might have to split here to go around the slow-moving car lane car. You can see Lavelle there on turn 1. He's got a left end plate. Does he have a right end plate? We'll have to try and find out. It looks like he does. So I'm not quite sure what I saw. Dark picks up 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Here goes Lamp up the inside of turn 2. He's still side by side with Backrow, but he's just ahead. Now Backrow hops in behind him looking for the slipstream. Can he find a move down into turn 3? It looks like he's going to be a little bit too slow. And indeed he is not going to be able to find a move. Let's go back on board with Lovell, please. Can we have an angle on that front wing? It's fine. So not quite sure what the incident was that cost him the time there. But look behind him. Lamp's had a terrible corner. I don't think he's lost any wing damage. But Backrow straight past. Oh, and there's Lamp spinning. Just a slight tap. And you can see him chopping like a stone. He's off the racing line. So thankfully he doesn't impede everyone. But he's got to wait for absolutely every car to come past here. Welsh Toast, he's side by side with Squid going down into server 7. Squid picks up P6. Yellow flag in sector 2. That's just Lamp getting himself turned around. And what a restart, Alex.
That was intense. And Domi is still on P5 right now, catching back row. Williams having 3 second time penalty for multiple warnings. Right now, Domi very close on the back of that Trident car. Brain's still really, really close on Rutinius as well. They are both on DRS window, Global and Brainsteel from Rutinius. So right now, Domi very close on those super soft, but he needs to go with this compound to the end. He really needs to. A pit stop here is very, very huge loss of time. So he doesn't want that. So Domi really taking profit of that extra grip on the super soft. I don't know if he has damage, but it seems like he understood a little bit. I really think he's good on that front end. At least it seems like Brain's still very, very close on Rutinius. He will actually do the move on the inside. No DRS, no ERS. As we know, this is automatically used. And Brain's still will be ahead of Rutinius on turn 1. And I think he will really, really go away.
There goes Domi around the outside of turn 1 on back row. Not finding the traction on the exit, though. So not going to work out right now for the ART driver. But can he get it outside of turn 2 with DRS this time? Down towards turn 3. Rutenius actually dropping off the rear of Brainstew. Not quite sure where Brainstew's finding that pace from, but he's doing pretty well right now. Here goes Domi looking up the inside, down into turn 3. Later on the brakes is back row, but Domi, the super softs, affording him a little bit of extra traction. They might work out for him around the outside here, but back row super late, closes the door, just gives Domi the squeeze, and there's no way past for Domi right now. Back row just ahead of him, and meanwhile, Squid behind them. He's looking on with this, and he'll be looking to try and take advantage, but at the moment, not going to work out for him. Rutenius really dropping off the rear back row. Has he got an issue with his front wing? It doesn't look like he does. So where is all this pace from Brainstrew coming from? Or why has Rutenius lost it? Maybe tire wear. Maybe it's just the only thing we can attribute it to.
Sorry to interrupt, Squid. I think he brushed the wall on the exit of turn 8 on the right-hand side, and I think that will be massive damage for him.
There's definitely an end plate missing.
Yeah, it's an end plate missing at the moment, and Domi really, really close on back row. He has not been able to overtake that Trident car. We will see if it will try now. He really needs to take profit of that sidecar now, taking a 3-second time penalty. I think he had damage from that incident before, but I'm really not sure about that. It seems like a clean front end for him, almost losing the rear on the exit of turn 16.
Domi, can he find it past back row this time? He needs to. If he wants to get another podium here, he needs to get past back row right now. Neon picks up a 3-second time penalty. A few of those coming in, but here goes Domi. DRS, you can already see him gaining with the slipstream. Brainstew sets another fastest lap. He is absolutely flying in that Uni Virtuosi right now. Squid's on the rear of Psycho. I think Psycho has actually just overtaken the Dams driver, and Squid, he's really struggling with that damage, Alex. You can see him understeering like crazy into turn 1. And, well, further up the grid, these guys really spacing out up at the top.
Yeah, Brain's still on a different level at the moment. He gained 2 seconds on 1 lap, if I'm not mistaken. That's amazing pace for the University driver. Rutenius falling a little bit, but still creating gap between him and Lovell, it seems. So right now, back row really needs to stay on the back of Domi. That super soft compound will really have the cliff on the end of this race. So back row will have to stay aware there, stay around of that ARC driver, as we have an exchange for 11th position. I think Neon on turn 1, but he's missing a lot of end plate, and now he crashed. He understeer. Moen had to avoid it, but he wasn't quick enough on reactions, and he tapped the rear part of Neon. Neon will have more damage even, so that's massive for him. He's waving, trying probably to I don't know if warm the tires, because with that understeer and no front wing, sometimes the front end of the tires really suffer to warm up.
Yeah, absolutely. Not too many laps to go here, but it looks like it will be no points for Neon, whether he chooses to pit or not. I think he's just come out of them not too long ago, so super unfortunate for him. But Squid all over the rear of Psycho once again here. Squid, he's got that damage though. Psycho's tires, they might start to die off though. Those super softs, a bit like the softs in normal Formula 1, will die off a little bit quicker than the mediums, as is the case with softer and harder compounds. So it's all pretty much the same as you would expect in an F1 race, just that they only have access to 2, and it varies from track to track. Moen, Neon, they exchanged once more. I think Moen's had an issue this time. No damage, but I don't see any way that Neon in that Carlin could have got back past without Moen having an issue, given the damage.
Quid on the inside of Psycho. It seemed like a really clean move. A little bit of tap there on wheels, but it seemed very good from there. So good move from the damage driver. Even he has damage, he took that place. I don't know if Psycho has damage. It doesn't seem like, at least the last time I checked, at least not visually. So right now, DRS for Psycho. I don't know if he'll put the move. It seems like on turn 3, he jumps the curb, touching a little there. More traction for Squid. Psycho still on those super soft. Now on the outside of turn 4, Squid will have distraction. It seems like those super soft are really suffering, and we have an exchange moment now again, because Neon will have the speed and probably retire the car, as he actually does. So right now, Maka, Lamp, and Dark very, very close on turn 1. Maka on the outside. Seems like he did the move on Lamp. And Wellstones as well, doing now the move. And he went really wide. Psycho taking the place. Seems like Psycho is really, really suffering on that compound, Unicorn.
Yeah, and I don't know how much I had faith in these tires to make it to the end for Psycho and Domi. You know, in the chat, Domi and Psycho will be close to a puncture, and I wouldn't be surprised if that could be correct, and we would, you know, if we did see it as Maka. Oh, Lamp's had a spin. He's collected JA Games as well. As well, these guys were battling so hard through turn 4, and it is a place to get an overtake, but, well, that's just super unfortunate there. And, well, let's have a look at how everyone else goes. We've only got a few laps left now, as Brainstew is about to cross onto lap 10, the penultimate lap of the sprint race here. And, well, it looks like back row, he's got a nice run on Domi. Those tires, those super softs, really starting to die out, and back row in the Trident just breezing past here down into turn 1, and you can see, oh, and then Lavelle ahead, a big snap, and he's missing an end plate. Back row here could try and go for a podium, and he was saying how much he was enjoying driving these F2 cars, and, well, it looks like he's having the time of his life. It looks like there might have been another issue. Lamp, he's spun. There's a lot of debris. I don't think that's just his, though. I think that might be a JA Games end plate hanging around on the track there, so a little bit unfortunate for these guys down at the back of this grid.
Yeah, now Eric trying to go for the inside of Williams. It seemed like he will not be able to do that. Sector 3 yellow flag for Lamp as he understeered into the wall, having that damage. He actually DNF'd. He crashed at the same way as Balo did on tier 1 race on turn 19 on the exit. The understeer can be massively, as well as Ben the Bear had today at this moment at APEC. So right now, we're still 8 seconds ahead of Rutenius, and we have a lap and a sector to go for the leader. Right now, back row very, very close on the back of Lovell.
Yeah, and Lovell with that damage, I would not be surprised if back row got within striking distance of the Carlin car. That's not where we want to go. Actually, Lovell doesn't have an issue. Maybe it was Neon back marking, because Lovell doesn't have damage. He is dropping back, though. Back row is definitely catching the Carlin, but I could have sworn he was missing an end plate a moment ago. But here we are. He's inside DRS range. He's got Domi to worry about behind, but back row right now in a good place to make an overtake. JA Games, he's fighting with Dark down in 13th to 14th, but here goes back row. He's gaining so much on Lovell. Look at the speed up into the podium positions as we cross on to the last lap of the race. That might have been one of his last opportunities to do so, but we saw Domi take it on the line. He robbed Maka, the chat said, of that final podium position. Can Lovell do the same given back row's pace? I don't think so, but we'll have to wait and see. Brainstew right now is absolutely running away with it at the top, and he has been for quite some time now. Hopping on board with Squid, he is trying to hunt down Welsh Toast, and, well, we haven't seen a puncture yet, but Domi and Psycho, they might be in a bit of dangerous territory.
Certainly they will. Domi losing 2 seconds on 4 corners. That's massive point to see how much he's suffering. He only wants to take this to the end, it seems. At this moment, he has to take care of the gap behind. 2.3 is the gap with Wellstones, but Squid is attacking that Charus driver car. So right now Lovell as well staying on that DRS zone. He understeered into the wall almost, and I think it was Dark crashed on the exit of turn 1. So very, very bad for him.
Domi spun through Castle. Is there a puncture on this car?
Oh, there's no puncture. I think he understeered and probably on the traction he had a major issue as he has a lot of damage there. So very unfortunate for him. Still will stay on the points. I don't know if he will catch Psycho with that penalty on the Campos racing car, but still he has Williams to defend. I don't know if he brushed the wall there on turn 14.
Well, here's someone who's been absolutely dominant all race long. Brain Stew. What a drive. Picking up P1 for the Uni Virtuosi squad. Let's hop back down with Squid because we might see another instance of a last lap overtake.
I think he has a puncture.
He's got a puncture now. Well, that's so unfortunate for him. Squid is not going to catch Welsh Toast for P5. Penalties might go into play, but Domi, oh, look at him. He's sliding all over the place. He's really struggling with that lack of grip, but I think he's just retired the car. No, he's actually still going. I thought that front left there broke off, but he's just limping it home right now. The ART is hurting, and I'm trying to get a better view of this puncture here. The camera's super wide down the straight, not really too hard, but you can see that rear left just wobbling. He's shaking as he crosses the line. P10 for him, though, not quite the P3 he had in the last race. He just took a little bit too early. Impressively, though, Psycho actually managed to get them there. P7 for him. Maka crosses 11th. Moen, P12. And last but not least, JA Games will round out the sprint race in P13. And what a race. And what a weekend for F2, Alex, that was.
Yeah, amazing Grand Prix here. A lot of safety cars, of course. Of course, it was Baku, but still a lot of safety cars, a lot of PST. Problems on Castle. If Tiger Style was on the chat, probably he was screaming 1 point for Castle, and probably Castle won today against the drivers because it was not only one, it was a bunch of drivers who were colliding there. So very good effort for Brinstew here on the sprint race. After a disappointment future race, he will take the win here.
Yeah, really nicely done by the Italian. Rutanius as well, you know, great drive from him, and I think some good points overall for the Dutchman, and well, some good drives overall, to be honest. And well, there's Backrow in P3 in the Trident, down from P2 where he started, and Lovell from P1 on the grid, only able to bring home 4th for the Carlin team. Then we have Welsh Toast, 9th to 5th. Squid, recovery, nice from the first race, 19th to 6th for him. Psycho, 16th to 7th. Eric in P8. Williams, 9th. Domi rounds out the top 10, obviously. Only the top 8 scoring points here. Then Maka, Moen, JA Games finishing. Dark Lamp, Neon Matt, Shane, and Kiwi not finishing. Let's have a look, though. Overall, we've got Lamp.
Lamp will take the first place on this weekend. He won the first race and then he had no points, but then Brinstew DNF'd on first race. He had pole position, he had first place on sprint and 2 for fastest lap, but he was not able to bring it home on this Grand Prix at all. So it seems like Lamp will take first place. Routine is on third place. J Games really complete first round on feature race, and Backrow will take 5th place. I think the most stable driver on these both races, 6 points on the first and 10 on the second, with a fastest lap as well on the second race.
Yeah, Domi 6th, Maka 7th, Lovell 8th, Moen 9th, Welsh Toast 10th, then we've got Squid Eric, Psycho Williams. Psycho running out the points, which is Williams, Dark, Neon, Matt, Shane, and Kiwi unable to score points here, but wow, Alex, that rounds out not only F2, but Azerbaijan as a whole. What a week it's been. Any closing thoughts before we go ahead and raid a member of the F1 community?
You always love to see these community drives, community events from Discord of MRL. So be sure you are there to not miss any action of anything here on MRL. A lot of events on community, a lot of drives on F1, sorry. And yeah, very appreciate the support there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you. Big shout out to JA Games raiding in at the end here. Brilliant drive from you, sir. And thank you to everyone who's followed, supported today, previously. It's all very much appreciated. If you're new here, make sure you get yourself in the Discord to, you know, get notified whenever we go live. A new video is posted on our YouTube channel, or just to join in with the great community who host regular races, not only broadcast but also just for fun as well. And as well, make sure to check out our amazing partners over at Next Level Racing for all your sim racing rig needs, all the way from beginners to advanced level rigs. They're doing brilliant things for the sim racing community, and we can't thank them enough for partnering with us here at MRL. But that is it for F2 tonight. That is it for our week at Azerbaijan. It's been a brilliant week. It's brought us some brilliant action, a lot of safety cars, a first wet race over in Tier 1. That was on Thursday, but F1 kicks off on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. GMT, and it's actually 4 p.m. EDT, I think, rather than 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So a little issue in the title there. Apologies for that one because of the daylight saving hours changing. But thank you all for watching. But Tuesday, it'll be Striff and, of course, Alex once again for Tier 3. And we kick off that action around Canada. But thank you all very much for watching. We're going to hit you with the outro. And, of course, Raider member of the F1 community. So thank you all so much for watching. And we'll see you in the next one.